everybody, Bianca and Frank here. Just wanted to answer a few questions in this video and give you a couple tips about the barrier and between the plywood and dirt and hay and the cuttlebone, of course. We're going to talk about that.
All right, well, let's jump in here and just give a few tips. Hopefully it helps out. I mean, we suggest you do research of your own. Go on Google and just do nonstop research. Do nonstop research on things that you want to know personally. If you want to know about barriers, then you do research on barriers. If you want to know about cuttlebone, research on cuttlebone. This video will help, but we recommend you do other research other than this. So first off, we're going to talk about the barrier. The barrier, if you're wondering what's a barrier, it's between, like my girlfriend said, the plywood and your substrate. What's substrate? This. And whatever, if you have cocoa fiber, sand, or whatnot. So basically, I wanted to get in a little bit and say, first off, a lot of people, I had a few questions, and a couple of my friends too, they say, hey, why don't you use a barrier in your enclosure? Wouldn't that be good for, you won't get water damage on your wood? Well, my answer to that is, first off, if you're going to make an enclosure, buy some thick wood. See how thick this wood is? You want it to at least be a couple inches thick. You don't want really flimsy plywood at all. That will break once you damp your dirt. Okay? And in the winter, I damp my dirt, I'm going to say about once a week. Now, you don't want to damp it to where you squeeze it and water comes out. Just get it a little moist and mix it all in. Because your tortoise, he needs humidity. And get that dirt nice and damped. But our enclosure, I've had this enclosure for 5 years. I've never used a barrier, and my wood is perfectly fine. Let's show them a little bit. Come under here. If you could see a little bit, I mean, it's pretty dark. I'm sorry about the lighting, but there's no water damage under here at all. It's pretty solid, and I wet this dirt once a week in the winter, and sometimes 3 times in the summer. And it's holding up pretty good. So if you want to feel safe for yourself, then go ahead and get yourself a barrier. You can get them at Home Depot. You can find them at Dollar Tree, 99-cent store, your local gardening spot. But my advice to you, don't waste your money or resources on a barrier. Just make sure, I mean, use common sense. That's one of the big rules about having a tortoise or any type of reptile. Use common sense. Just don't get your dirt too damp, too wet. You know, just right. You want it just right. Just moist it in there once a week. Get a water bottle, anything, a cup of water. Just get it nice and damp once a week, and that will not give you water damage to your enclosure. And like right here, we got this bucket, this little tub at the Dollar Tree, or you know, you get it anywhere. What we do to add humidity to the enclosure, we wet this quite a bit. I mean, not to the point where water is dripping out, but it's pretty wet in here. And if he wants his humidity, he gets in here. He'll climb on his little logs over here. He'll get in there. And his basking spot, this is his basking spot. If you're wondering what's a basking spot, it's a heat lamp. And it helps him digest his food, to warm up. Tortoises are really, really cold-blooded, so it helps them. I wet his basking spot once a week. You want that quite dry. You don't want it wet. Other than that, that's it for the barrier. We'll run through it real quick. You don't need a barrier. Buy good thick wood. Don't wet your dirt too much, and you'll be fine. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is this right here. This is a cuttlebone. You can buy them at pet stores or anywhere where they sell pet supplies. Basically, what this is, it gives your reptile, they sell them for birds or whatnot, but it gives your reptile calcium that they need. And that calcium is for their bones or joints. But if you feed your tortoise a really, really varied variety of spring mix lettuce. Don't feed them iceberg or bok choy, or like I said, do your research. As for me, I feed my tortoise spring mix. I've been feeding him spring mix for 5 years. He gets plenty of calcium. The first 2 years I got him, I did sprinkle vitamin D3 powder on his food every other day. He did eat it. So if you want to go that route, if you're barely getting your tortoise, go ahead. But as in the cuttlebone, I know they're good for hatchlings, because hatchlings, they need calcium. But if you have yourself a good-sized tortoise like mine, when I got him, he was already I think about 2 or 3. So if you get yourself a regular-sized tortoise, you really don't need a cuttlebone. I mean, you could do it because they may be malnutrition when you get them, because some tortoises are wild caught. So you could try it out. But if you have your tortoise and you've had him for a few years and you're wondering, should I get a cuddle bone? You don't need one. They're not needed. I mean, my tortoise, I've had this cuddle bone already for a while. I've never seen him take bites. There's no nibbles on it or anything. Just feed him every day. Get a little handful of lettuce, chop it up really good, spring mix lettuce, and feed it to him every day, every single day. Not every single day. I say go twice out the week. You pick the days where you don't give him no food or water, and you eat every meal.
And he loves his snacks. His favorite, we just recently found out, is aloe vera. So now, to his favorites, it's dandelions and aloe vera. He likes aloe vera a lot. He goes for that first.
Yeah, we have a big aloe vera plant. My girlfriend likes to use it for some facials. And we recently just discovered, I mean, it's probably old news. It's probably old news to you guys if you guys have your tortoise. But if you don't know it by now, or you're not knowledgeable about what they eat, they love aloe vera. It has so many vitamins in it for them. And it's not bad for them. You could go ahead and research it. I suggest you research it first. Don't just take my advice. But I'm pretty positive that it won't harm them at all. They love aloe vera. What you do is you just get a plant. If you have a plant already, cut a little leaf off, a little leaf. Cut the side thorns off and cut it open. And you can hand feed it to them. I suggest to hand feed your tortoise. Interact with your tortoise. Don't just have him sitting there. Interact with him. Hand feed him, for he could get to know you and he can know your scent. Pet him. I mean, sometimes Aoki doesn't really like to be pet in his head. See right here, he's allowing me to do it. But that's because I hand feed him and he's used to me.
And he loves my hand massages I give him.
Yeah, he loves getting little hand massages. But yeah, aloe vera, feed him aloe vera as a snack. Don't feed him it more than twice a week, because if you do, he won't eat his regular lettuce. I've had some friends and I heard about some people that they fed their tortoises snacks too much and that's all they ended up wanting. So I suggest you just feed him as a snack once or twice a week. Same thing with dandelions. Dandelions are the little yellow flowers. I mean, I think I made a video about him eating that, but he likes those as a snack too. As you can see here, he just passed up this cuddle bone. He didn't even acknowledge it. So, I mean, you see that right there. So let's give a quick rundown about this cuddle bone. It's needed for hatchlings. If you're barely getting a tortoise and he's already grown, you could try it out because he might be in malnutrition. If you've had your tortoise for years and you know that he's healthy, you feed him right, then don't get the cuddle bone. It's a waste of money. But yeah, go the vitamin D3 supplement. It's a powder you can buy at pet stores. And don't wet his dirt too much. He loves aloe vera. All Russian tortoises love aloe vera. And these videos I make are solidly on Russian tortoises. I'm not too knowledgeable about other tortoises. So if you have a sulcata or a Herman's tortoise or a Greek tortoise, I wouldn't suggest to take my advice because I don't know anything about them. I mean, they may be similar, but I don't know anything about them. These videos are just on Russian tortoises. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.